whatever they want is what I feel.
So just to remove this category-wise branching, but the proposal is rejected by the Senate. And to propose the same proposal again, we have to, the proposal that was made was exactly to quote it, due to this category-wise branching, sensitive information related to the student is being leaked publicly. So to remove this, but it happened, and at the end, the proposal was rejected blatantly by the Senate. So to make the same proposal again, we have to have a strong, substantial evidence and arguments again, because Senate will question us that this proposal is already made last time and it was rejected. Why are you making the same proposal again? First thing, and second thing, bro, if it doesn't matter, the person if he has a lot of knowledge. I'll give an example from our batch. There is a guy in electrical, Neelish. He has around less than 7 CGPA, but he has the same internship that I have in CSC.
Regarding the competitive exams, you told you will have the preparation books in a library, right? But there are still some textbooks as referred by our professors not in the library. So how you can have that is itself not there? How you are bringing a competitive exams books?
Okay, that is also a point in my manifesto itself. So it's basically like the course list is published way ahead of time, but it is not communicated in some cases to the library section. So when the course list is published, the references book available for the course is also available. So if it is sent at that time itself to the library, I had a talk with librarian also regarding this. If it is sent at that time itself to the library, before the arrival of the students for the next semester, the books will be made available.
Also, if you see, the latest technology books are less available in library. If you see in robotics and all, and cyber security, those industry 4.0 technology books are less available in library. So I think we need more books for this, because our education systems should be in the industry 4.0, 5.0 side, right? So how you will bring that?
So first thing is, this competitive exam preparation related books, previous year question kind of books, that cannot be requested from the institute side. But the course related books, it can be requested for the institute to bring them. But PYQ related books or any particular books only related to competitive exams, that has to be bought through SAC budget, either through SAC budget, or we have to contact the people. My plan is first get SAC budget and buy these books. If it fails, in that case, it will take a lot of time. Contact the people who have did good or prepared for these exams. They will have some materials. Collect those and keep in the SAC library. Like the SAC has a library, right? Currently, it has a lot of books related to culturals. We can include in the SAC library. We can include these books too.
Due to lack of time, I would like to now ask some questions which I received through the form before we move on to more live questioning. So one question both of you have is, can you tell in what way you are more qualified than your opponent? And it is mentioned in brackets strictly on professional life, so do not get personal. So you just have to mention one or two things which you feel you might have, which may put you ahead of your opponent.
Can you repeat the question?
Just tell me one way, in what way you are more qualified than your opponent.
So I'll just say this. I don't want to compare with anyone, but I have been working since my second year on whatever POs I have taken. I did good. I did my best in that. You can see that the current year had also gave a testimonial about my work. You can take testimonial from the current CDC oral coordinator. I have always proven that whatever PO that I took, I did my best and I got a good review. And my experience that I already proven, I have a good vision, and I published the feasibility report. So whatever manifesto points that I kept, those are not just talk. I have a clear-cut plan and timeline and a verification from the guy who is in the position that I wanted to stand in 1 year. So I have experience. In that experience, you can take feedback from the people whom I worked under, and I have a clear-cut plan, timeline, and verification for my initiatives.
Both of us both of us has done equally the same work for contesting for the post. So contesting for this post of Academic Affairs Secretary is what I feel. From day one, I have concentrated on what I have to do. I have went and asked people, BTech, MS, MTech, PhD, asking what their problems are. And my manifesto, I have drafted it. This is mostly regarding what problems, whatever I have heard from people. That is why I took more time to draft my manifesto also. So, and one more thing is, I have not been in any POS before, like only those that I've mentioned there has been the previous POS. But then whenever during exam times, there has been my batchmates who have come and approached me for helps, my notes, and then for even during for internships after I got, there has been people coming and asking me how you have applied. I have always tried my best to help them. And I don't think there would be anyone who would say that I approached Soumya and she did not help me. I don't think there's someone like that. So I have done my help for everyone in that part. So regarding academics.
So just to add something to my previous answer, the manifesto points that I kept, the initiatives for research scholars, those are exactly the same problems that they conveyed to me. And also regarding helping people, I have already proven that I helped one of the guy from my junior, Anup. He got recently internship offer from Dusky, and he thanked me. Yeah, he is here. Yeah, I'm not saying I will help in future. I have already proven that I have helped. I am also guiding a lot of second year people. The same resources that I gave in last May for my batch people. It's about them, how they can utilize these resources to their fullest extent.
The next question is, what are your plans to reduce slot clashes? And Soumya may answer this one first.
Okay, so basically this time there were a lot of slot clashes. Like there's a course like Big Data Lab which has clashed with 3 of the PMEs. So this is basically reducing the choices. What we can do is, there are some slots which are completely free, like Wednesday afternoon slot and all. So we can ask the professor ahead of time when they are putting the their initial plan, then we can try contacting the professor, ask for whenever they are free, and try to reduce the slot clashes to the maximum possible. Reducing the slot clashes is basically under the professor's availability, so I could ask them whenever they would be available and try to reduce at max how much ever slot clashes I can reduce, I'll try to reduce them.
So my foolproof plan is, first the electives list get published. After that, there will be a time gap between the final timetable gets released. What I am planning to do is, after the elective list is published, circulate a form and find out which branch and batch people are interested in the most the most number of people, where does that category of student belong to, which branch and which batch, and send these responses to the people who make the timetable, so that if the slot class is not, if we cannot avoid it at all, then just replace the class with another class in which the most number of people who are interested in the course can take the course. So this is my plan. Just make sure that whoever interested the most in those courses are able to take that course, in case we cannot do justice for everyone.
Anyone in the audience who would like to ask a common question?
I am a student from data science branch. We will be the first batch passing out from the data science. So do you people have any plans for us for sake of internships or placements, as we don't have any past records to show the companies and attract?
Bro, you have eligibility for every internship that we are getting. It was specifically mentioned that second year data science branch people are also able to apply. Like,
do you have any special plans for us, like being the first batch from the data science? So by the time you people get out of this post, you should be placing some sort of platform for the data science, right? So I pose this question.
So you are asking, we need to bring in more companies which specifically want to hire data science guys?
Yeah, something
so
like that. So
whichever companies are coming already, they are specifically asking for data science guys already. And as I told you, whichever companies that our batch guys are getting, there is an eligibility for you too. And you are asking, we need to show some track record that you guys have so that we can attract the companies. So we can
don't have any, right? We don't have any track record.
Yeah, we can always show the projects you made.
Apart from that, for every branch, they have some sort of past records. Our batchmate has some secured 48 lakhs per annum, some sort of things. So we don't have any. Or at least I request you to make some sort of plans for us people.
So we can show your internship track record first thing. Second thing is we can show the projects that you made. You guys, I'm sure that you will make some amazing projects. We can always showcase the projects that these guys made, and any external competitions or hackathons that you guys want from outside institute, we can always showcase them. The companies will always be attracted via your projects, via your achievements in hackathons. Yeah, that's all. And it is needed. You don't need to show that in previous batch. Guys, they got this many internships. That is not at all needed to attract companies.
And if you want any such record, computer science is always there because you and us have mostly the similar curriculum itself. So even our track records as of now, it can be, and then your track records will be way higher. That can be used for your junior batches.
Okay, I think you are aware of this. The CGPA to percentage conversion of our college is into 10 minus 5. But if you see most of the other IITs, it's just into 10, like IIT Madras and other IITs, like most of the IITs. Because of this into 10 minus 5, like it will be difficult to get scholarships for higher education and other research opportunities. So what are you going to do in this regard? Because this is important.
Hello.
Since it is affecting our people who want to apply for research in this, and you have already told me this problem of this -5 thing, so we will ask the authorities regarding this and try to implement that. That is what.
So, first thing is whatever proposal we make, I think it will take at least one semester to get it approved. So, your issue that I have already thought of it, but since the time is very less, I cannot reach a conclusion before these elections. So if I get elected during my tenure, I'll for sure make this proposal. Thanks.
Okay, so now we'll be having the last question. After this, we'll move on to the technical secretary.
Hello. So while doing the branch change, there is a consideration of caste. So if the branch topper, like in suppose in OC, the topper changes the caste, like if he or she applies, then the second person will get the chance. How it is fair that if first person is not applying for the branch change, second person is not allowed to do?
It has already been addressed here.
Can you make your question clear again? You are saying that first person who didn't apply.
Topper.
Okay, I'll rephrase it. During the branch change, suppose if you consider OC topper, if he or she applies for the branch change, for example to CSC, and there is even a OC person who is second, like class second, but he is more interested to go. But the first person is not interested to go for to CSC. So
the first person applying for a branch change itself is his willingness to go for a branch change. No, so why?
No,
is
the
there
first person, like the class topper in the OC, did not apply for computer science branch change. So
then you don't get a branch.
There is a rule in our branch change that if only the topper applies for it, the second person will get it. The first person won't.
No, that's not like that, I guess.
Yeah.
In electrical also, we had people who had higher CGPAs but still chose not to apply. And the other persons who applied, whoever was best amongst it, got the branch change.
No, there is one.
So
I just now verified it. In our branch change category, like in my batch, like if the first person applies, only the second person is getting a chance. 1 second.
So I'm not aware that this has already happened, at least for our branch, when the guy in mechanical, who is the branch topper, applied for electrical. The second guy the mechanical guys who applied for CSC, they got it. So none of your batch guys told me this concern yet. But if it is really the case, right now I'll not make any false promises, but I'll look into this matter.
That brings us to the end of MTC for Academy of Secretary. Please give a round of applause for them. Thank you. We will have the technical affairs MTC right now here itself. So if you guys are willing to vote for him directly without listening to him, it's fine. But please give him a chance. I would like to now invite Prabhat Suresh, contesting for Technical Affairs Secretary. Mic.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. I'm Prabhat Suresh, BTech third year CSE. I'm standing for Technical Affairs Secretary. And I have a very simple vision of reviving the technical culture in our college, which is kind of on a state of decline right now. And also to help the technical community of our college to achieve its true potential. These are some of my credentials. Notably, I'm the associate of YAC, and I was also the speaker at the competitive programming workshop in Petrichor. Following this, I would like to quickly go over to my initiatives. So the first initiative that I want to take up is forming a proper roadmap for the whole technical council. Right from the beginning, I'll contact all the club heads, make a detailed plan for the whole academic year. And also, this will be a kind of flexible roadmap and will be susceptible to change later on as and when the dates nearby. Then I wanted to have a proper media and design team. So this is one issue which in the initial stage, they didn't really have a proper media and design team. But later on, they brought in Vaibhav for, during the event semester sometime. So I believe that if we have a proper media and design team, we can help improve the participation by creating awareness among the students, by promoting the events a little bit more. Then we have the SAC website and the newsletter. So on the line with promoting events, I would also like to have a proper newsletter, a monthly newsletter, which would cover all the events and the happenings in the tech community at IIT Palakkad. Also, I would like to integrate all the resources, information related to the Tech Council properly to the SAC website. And then this is one of the most important points in my whole manifesto that I have, that is forming domain-based teams at the very beginning of the tenure. So what happened in the current tech meet was when the problem statements were released by mail, a technical affairs secretary contacted people, but the thing is participation was low in certain problem statements. And then because of delayed team formation, there were certain issues. So I plan to address that by forming teams based on recurring themes and domains. So we will be analyzing the common themes and domains of the past couple of intra-IT tech meets, organizing them into domains, forming teams for these domains at the beginning of the tenure and making them work on projects and sending them for hackathons, etc., and making them experienced enough to face any problems in the intra-IT tech meet. So in general, this year we didn't have participation in external competitions or hackathons. So that is one thing which I would really like to improve. We would have, all the core team members, we'll work with them, keep in contact with, other colleges and get to know any events that are going to happen in related to technical competitions, any hackathons happening either nearby in Coimbatore. We have Amrita or PSG, or we have colleges in Kerala itself, like CET. So we have all these kind of different competitions. So I would like to improve participation in these, making the teams that I'll be forming at the beginning of the tenure, making them prepared enough so that they can go and participate, gain valuable experience, and then come back, and this feedback can be used to prepare and improve the performance further. So the next one is I would like to reintroduce rather, because there was a tech day some time back. So the plan is to basically have some kind of healthy competition among the students as an intra-college competition. So I plan to reintroduce either the tech day or something like the GC which happened for sports. So this would be like either forming some sort of franchises, or generally any team can come and register. So we would be organizing hackathons or problem statements set by each club in the technical council, and we'll be having this as a bit of a grand event so that we have enough participation. We bring more appeal to the technical council among students. So then about hosting hackathons in IIT Palakkad. So I have this plan of maybe collaborating with companies, and during the IAC time or during Petrichor, some kind of a collaboration where we can organize some sort of hackathons. And they would be companies where they would like to offer some sort of incentives. They would be offering prizes. So this would bring about some sort of a small step towards something like a tech fest that we could organize later. So we could later on, maybe when the Petrichor will be split into separate technical and cultural fests, this would be a stepping stone towards that. Further, then I would like to also introduce an entrepreneurship club, or rather, start it as a hobby group, and then based on the interest of the students, later on convert it into an entrepreneurship club. This is just basically to start up, to introduce a startup culture in our college. And so we also have a startup right now by Arvind sir and two of his students. So we could take guidance from them, and we could build up a startup culture in our college. I would also like to, increase the number of external speakers who come to our college, either as part of, from industry, or we can, collaborate with the IARCL and bring in alumni and sessions, even if it's online, so that we get more experienced speakers in the technical events. So about the innovation lab, I would like to involve more students. I mean, in right now, there's the Earn As You Learn program, but the ultimate goal would be to make Innovation Lab a fully student-run lab. So for that, I would like to, introduce some sort of a program where we can have more student involvement. And also, I would like to have a proper tech repository maintained for the tech council. In general, any sessions or events that are going to be organized, I would like to have it well documented and maintained, and a single resource basically for all the events or activities that are taking place in the council. Right, and in general, some points about improving club activities. So one thing I would like to introduce is, so already it's there in the event semester, it was introduced, but I would like to introduce some kind of multidisciplinary collaborations in between clubs. Also, there's the idea of like having batch representatives for each club and reaching out to students a little bit more, sending a mail or just by WhatsApp, really doesn't increase participation. So I would like to reach out to students through representatives a little bit more. And in terms of PG UG interaction, PG students generally don't involve in the technical council much, and so I would like to improve upon that. Also, we have something called as SAC paper, Student Academic Conference, in the Inter-IT Tech Meet, for which there were not many people who were willing to present their papers. So I would like to have points of contact among the PG students, and plan this well ahead before the Inter-IT Tech Meet, and then also have a regular feedback kind of a form or something for all the club activities. So that is pretty much my manifesto. I am open for any questions right now.
If anyone has any questions, please feel to raise their hands.
Prabhat, yeah, what was the lapse of technical council that happened for last 1 year? I feel so. Like I heard that we won a gold medal in IIT Bombay in Inter-IT Tech Meet back then, okay, and when we were only 2-year-old, like 2017, roughly, okay. So why isn't why isn't it happening again?
Why is it happening in general? I feel students are not really motivated enough. They're not participating in the technical activities, not participating in the club activities. They're not taking the initiative. I feel generally participation is declining. That is one of the reasons. One thing could be, planning things well in advance and having good experience in the domains or problem statements that are offered. So I feel in both in terms of experience, also we need to work by making them do projects, go represent hackathons, or in general, if they participate in a lot of technical events, they'll improve by themselves. So I feel that participation is one thing, and training them for the events in general.
Okay, so you have a very good background work that this is why we are lagging back, right? So you said that participation can enhance everything, but it lies at the upcoming SAC side. Like, how would you enhance that participation? See, as an aspiring candidate, even I know how things should work, okay, but we can say it out. But how are you, in terms to implement it properly? Like, how would you pull out that participation?
So as I mentioned in my manifesto, I would like to reach out more to students. So that is how I would ensure more participation. So, in general, going and talking to people, getting to know of their interests, through their club heads also, I'll be trying to reach out to students more. So that is the main way I would like to increase participation. And in general, I told you about the social media aspect and the media team. So generally, people are not aware about what is happening in the technical council, what events are happening. So if we generally increase the awareness, right, that itself will bring in more interest and participation, I feel. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, so hi Prabhat. So you mentioned that there was a general championship or tech day quite a while back.
Yeah, there was a tech day sometime back. I don't even remember. I think I was in the
COVID phase. So for the past couple of years, if I remember right, we did not have any such event.
Right.
So what do you think were the challenges which affected this, or why do you think it was not happening?
I don't exactly know. Okay, for this one, even Matin Bhaiya was planning to organize it in the event semester sometime. I don't. Yes. So it seems to have not taking place or something like that. What is the reason exactly? I'm not sure of what. So I'm just
So when our batch was had our orientations,
we were introduced to two clubs called Ratham and the QCC. So after that, we have never heard from them. So do you have any plans to revive those clubs, or are they going to remain dead in your tenure?
So, see, the reasons why clubs are formed is because somebody had the interest and then they did it. In the case of QC, there was a guy who was really interested. He started it off, but there was nobody to carry it on. That's the main problem. So, in general, when you create clubs, you need to make sure that there's somebody to carry on that. So that was the main problem with both of these clubs. George started Ratham, and then he was, organizing some stuff. And then after that, it again, nobody was there to take it over. So in general, what I would plan for this tenure is whatever clubs are there, there should be enough responsibilities taken by the juniors also. They should have that proper interaction such that, it passes on. So specifically for QC, I don't really plan to reinitiate it as a club because it's kind of a niche club, I would say. When things like, YAC and DAC are lacking in participation, I don't feel introducing QC as a club will benefit in any manner. But however, we have problem statements related to quantum computing in the inter-IT tech meet. So we could have that as part of the domain team that I was talking about. So we can have one domain team for quantum computing, a small group of people who are really interested. They can work on it. But as a club, I don't plan to introduce it. Again, in case of Ratham also, I have the same thing to say. I don't plan to reintroduce it as a club unless people are there to take it over. So initially, I would have either a hobby group or, as I said, a domain team for problem statements regarding, automobiles or whatever, right? And we can, focus on making them prepare for the inter-IT as just a small group. And if sufficient student participation is there, we can initiate it as a club later on.
So as you mentioned, entrepreneurship club startups. So can you give me a number, like how many students have started their own startup through IIT Palakkad?
So as I said, there's only just 2 students right now under Arvind sir. So as of now, there's no. It's the plan is to build up that startup culture by slowly, having sessions or organizing some kind of general group discussions or kind of guiding them rather. So I don't think as a club itself, it will not receive as much participation or attention like the other clubs, but it's more of a small group.
Very low, and then how you are going to promote that?
In terms of entrepreneurship, see. So in terms of entrepreneurship, see how I plan. So I also don't have a clear plan as to how entrepreneurship as such will develop in our institute. But all that I can do is have mentors and help to guide the students in case they are interested. So to make it approachable, and also we can collaborate with, as I mentioned, things like IPTF or Tekken, and we can start incubating a few ideas or something of that sort. So that's all that I would.
Prabha.
See, even Tekken or iHub, they are not really close to IIT Palakkad students. Recently, even Tekken had organized some session where they brought in 3 startup ideas. They plan to incubate that. They are guiding them right now. So they are not really close to just IIT Palakkad students. But in general, my focus would be towards IIT Palakkad students and collaborating with them for that.
So Prabhat, Tech Council would be having a budget. I hope that you are aware of the budget which Tech Council has. So this year, this budget has been, the Tech Council has turned into a cell where the money is being allotted to other councils for their activities. Okay, so under your tenure, how do you plan to effectively use the entire budget? Yeah, so yeah, budget is being used by other councils, which should not be the case. I mean, if you have a budget, you are expected to utilize the full budget.
Yeah. So as I said, I will have a proper roadmap for the whole council, and I will, make sure that whatever budget is planned, it's planned according to the, proper feasibility of it. So whatever I will be planning as a budget and be proposing it will be something which is properly feasible, and I will make sure that it is fully utilized for the respective clubs or events that we are going to organize as part of the Tech Council.
You said building a domain teams for inter-IT for recurring thing.
Right.
Okay. So that would require leaders who are skilled in that particular domain.
Right.
As we can see the trend, our seniors were skilled. Our batches had some skill, but I can assure you the next batches do not really have as much. Like we have been building this event semester, but if you see in the entire tech meet also, whatever the good performance we had was from 4th years. That's been the trend, and the next year, like first, second, third year, are particularly not that comparatively good in technical skills. So, who are you going to appoint as the domain leaders? For example, let's take a domain of AI, LLMs, or backend. So, what are you going to do with that?
So
when you don't have an expert leader, how are you going to make the teams itself?
So okay, when we don't have expert leaders, so we'll be having somebody who is into it, who's very interested. We can appoint him as the domain lead, and we can always have guidance from the alumni, or we can approach them for certain advice or whatever. So we'll have to do something for that domain. We can't ignore it just because we don't have skilled people for that. As I said, these teams will be formed at the beginning of the tenure, so we'll have sufficient time to develop the skills also. It won't be we won't be forming the teams for tech meet just as soon as the problem statement arrived, as we did in this tenure. So we'll be doing it much in advance, and we'll be training them for the whole tenure.
So, and your second point was you will make the innovation lab student oriented or something. So what happened was initially you just needed your guides approval, BTP, OELP guides approval. Now what they have done is they have gone back. They first have to take your guides approval, then you have to take the innovation labs, FA, staff approval. Then you have to do it. So how are you going to make it in the reverse direction than what it's going in the right now?
So as of now, this Earn As You Learn program is there, and this whole process is going on. What we can propose is something which is simpler. It won't be approved as of completely student run as of now, but we can have an intermediate kind of a stage so that in later years this can be fully student run. Maybe appoint somebody from the student side or somebody from the technical council, particularly in charge of the innovation lab. So he'll be responsible for whatever approvals are going to be taken for using the equipments or the lab in general. So I feel some student representative as such who will take the major decisions. Right now, I would say that would still be under the guidance of whoever is in charge of the innovation lab. But when you appoint somebody as a student, it's more of an intermediary stage, so we can gradually progress towards a fully student-run innovation lab.
Any other questions?
Again, the major thing, whatever your initiatives are, everything requires participation, as he mentioned. And I'm not fully happy with your answer for that. So I want to know, like here itself, you can see for this MTC, which is very important,
Right.
there is no participation. You can see the interest for our students in tech community.
Yes.
And even for each clubs, for the head position, I don't think anyone will come voluntarily. So how are you going to tackle such situations and bring more participation? And how are you going to inculcate that technical mindset to our students?
See, it's more of a gradual process. When you have such a poor participation, all of a sudden it won't shoot up. I will gradually do it. As I said, whatever points I mentioned are aimed towards that, and it's more about reaching out to the students, more about having the club heads, whoever they appoint as the next club heads, also will be somebody who is already working in the council as is part of that club, or so I don't feel there'll be a problem as such to I mean, not, of students not showing up for the club head position or something. It's only that it'll be less in number, and right now we'll have to do with that. We'll have to progress with that only, and slowly build up during the whole tenure. That's all that I can say. We'll have to slowly build up during the tenure. There's no other option.
If it's like a gradual process, like if I take an example in this sports GC, we till now we didn't have much girls participation in any sports activities much, but through this GC we could see that many people came, many
Right.
girls participated.
Hmm.
So you can't say that it's like a gradual improvement thing. And for the club
The thing is, after this, how many of them will go and continue playing whatever sport that they were part of?
See,
It's a valid point.
good counter, but from this many people, like even like me, I got to know what sport I am interested in at least.
Right.
And if my time permits, I'll continue for that. I'll continue going for that camp. So that kind of that people will realize their skills, or they'll get to know that, this is good, or they'll get that interest from such things. So do you have any plan to conduct such kind of events?
I told you, there's the event that we plan to organize around the event semester. We'll be organizing either a GC or a tech day. That will be a kind of a huge event. And the other thing that I was planning to was organizing hackathons in IIT Palakkad. This will also, promote, competition from our side, because for this kind of hackathons, we'll be bringing in an external competition from other colleges. We'll be inviting students. So generally, what I feel is competition is not there. Some form of competition is required for improving the general participation, or interest towards any technical clubs or councils. So I feel these events we'll have to do, and then these projects are there which we'll be doing semester long projects for the for the odd semester as well as the event semester, targeted towards these domains, trying to bring in freshers or people who are completely new. We'll be bringing them solely on the basis of their interest towards it, and then motivating them, making them do small stuff initially, and then gradually they will improve over time. So that's all that I have.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Please feel free to raise your hand. I believe everyone is hungry at this point of time. But yes, we have a question.
As you said at the start of your, reading of the manifesto and everything, the tech culture in our college is on a decline. If I may, I would rather rephrase it to something as the tech culture was very dead until the general body meet came up. Okay. Sadly, right now it's more of a statutory position and not very active. So on that note, how do you plan on being a better tech sec this year compared to previous year tech secs? It was pretty much dead. No, I mean, it was pretty much
You said
dead
until
to the general-
GBM. What happened after GBM?
I mean, not much happened, but not much happened. But then they released all sorts of projects, and all of a sudden there was a boom for like a week. So yeah. How is that even related, man?
let me just rephrase. Let's be objective. So he basically his answer is or question is, what better will you do than previous tech sects to inculcate a sense of competitiveness, or how do you intend to promote the technical culture in our institute? Which is basically something you already answered, but you may just rephrase it again.
First of all, if I'm elected as the tech sec, I'll be an elected tech sec. So I have done this as a. So I'll be working. So I've worked on my manifesto. I have a vision. I'll be doing this and with full sense of responsibility, and so that's one thing. See, as a better tech sec, I don't want to really compare or anything. See, he's done whatever he could at his level best. So I don't want to compare or anything. But yeah, so generally I'll be more approachable, more responsible towards the technical council. I'll be trying to do whatever I can to improve the college's technical culture. So, I mean, this is more of a general question. I don't have much to add on to that. So that's it.
Any final questions before we end the session? Okay, that brings us to the end of session. A huge round of applause to Prabhat, please.
Thank you.
And also a huge round of applause to Mateen for listening to all the criticism. And a huge round of applause to yourself as well, because you have stayed for so long. So thank you.
Nice. Seriously.